So it was March 12th, 2020, a day that I will forever remember for the rest of my life. The government did the unthinkable. They shut the world down. They shut down everything. It was insanity. And at that time, we had the fitness business. And so this hybrid gym was a unique concept in the fact that we had people come into our gym to do the sale, but we sold them into an online training program. And so the reason that we did that is because we used our in-person location as the advantage, right? It gave us more trust that we sold an online service, but we sold it in person because ultimately there's just inherently more trust in person than there is online. And so when the government decided that we can no longer do business in person, we lost what I thought was our biggest advantage, which was selling in person. And so at that moment, I had to pivot to phone sales. And so again, while we had already had an online business, all of our sales at that point actually had been done in the gym. When I did my first phone sales, it was rough. Again, I had sold so much at that point, but never truly on a phone. And I remember my first couple sales, I was selling a $199 21-day program. Man, I struggled. I struggled to get through the conversation. I struggled to get through the script. I struggled with my confidence on it, one call after another. And I finally started to get some momentum, and we eventually raised the price from $199 to $299. We raised it to $399, $499, $599. And then about 6 months later, I made my first $2,500 phone sale. This one was life-changing because it's not about the money. Like, it was $2,500 phone sale, but it was also that this person was a fully online training client. They didn't live in Bozeman, Montana, which is where I live. And so I was like, holy crap, we officially have an online business in the fitness space. And so at that moment, I was like, okay, phone sales are way better than in-person sales. There's so much headache that goes to getting people to show up anywhere, specifically like into a gym, and to get them to drive all the way across town. It was just a pain where I could just call them up and I could talk to them. And so when we got into the cleaning business and I saw other cleaning business, I looked around to see what they were doing, and I saw people like doing in-person estimates, and it just never made sense to me. Like, why would you do that? It's so much harder and slower and more expensive and very inefficient. When I came into the cleaning business, like, I knew nothing about cleaning. I did not know how much we should charge. I didn't know how to estimate. But there's one thing I knew. I knew how to burn the boats. I knew how to just go all in and say, you know what? I'm not going to let those things stop me. I'm just going to do what I knew best is I'm going to pick up the dang phone. I'm just going to talk to people. I'm going to figure out by speaking to the prospect what they need. And so my first cleaning call I got on, I remember it. It was very rough. I was very nervous. Again, I was fumbling over the script. I was trying to piece it together. This was a fitness script that I had kind of put together, and I would transition it from saying, hey, I'm going to help you lose 25 pounds to, hey, I'm going to help clean your house, even though I don't really know how to clean anything. And then my second call that I did was another swing and a miss, and it was also rough as well. And then finally, my third call, a little bit quicker this time, it was a grand slam, because you know who that third call was? That's right. It was our girl, Susan Bianchini. Still a client today. That turned out to be an $11,000 sale. Who wants to learn how we estimate? I think this is one of the biggest questions that I get is like, how do you estimate over the phone? How do you do it without doing in person? And then if you do it over the phone, like, how do you get the right number? How do you quote properly? So what does the estimate process look like? Well, first off, you must actually ask the right questions. That's part of the equation, right? And so what questions do you ask? Well, so this is the initial sales script, and it's broken down into these different components. We have an intro rapport part of the script. We have the home details. We have the personal pain points. We have prior experience. We have ideal outcome. We have our AB option that we present them. We have our close, which is basically asking them to pick one. If they say yes, then we book the clean. If they say no, then we do rebuttals. And so this is our initial clean script framework, but we're really going to highlight home details and personal pain points in order for us to actually create an initial clean estimate or a quote. So home details, personal pain points. So the question to ask when it comes to getting the answers that we need is like, how would you rate your home? From a scale 1 to 10, how dirty is it, right? So this is like a self-actualization, and they give us a number. How many humans do you have in your home? Do you have, is it just you? Is there three other people in there? Do you have kids? So again, like the amount of humans that you have in your home is going to dictate really how dirty it's going to be. How many pets? This was a big one, right? How many pets do you have? Do you have no pets? Your house is going to be significantly different than if you have a home that has multiple pets or even one pet. And then as far as your services, like, do you have carpet all over your house? Again, which is much different to clean than if you just have hard surfaces, like, which is things like hardwood floors or laminate floors or tile. And then the pain points, right? So how picky is this person? So again, this is where you're asking the right questions. You're able to pick up how many pain points they have. And so what we did is we put together this formula to turn these questions into numbers, right? My favorite thing to do is how do we turn everything into data? Because with data, we're able to make logical and streamlined decisions that we can then in turn hand off to somebody else. And so we created this 3-tier system, right? And so again, to put it really simply, it's like your house is dirty, your house is really dirty, or your house is really freaking dirty. And so based on the question and answer, we can put them into one of these 3 buckets. And once we put them into one of these 3 buckets, based on what type of clean they're going to get, whether they're going to get a deep clean, a top to bottom deluxe clean they have an option to get, or we have a general maintenance clean, those cleans are going to be dependent again on what the client wants as well and what their intention intention is, are able to plug that into our initial cleaning calculator. And with that cleaning calculator, it literally becomes really simple. It's like, okay, they're in tier 3 and the square footage of their home is 2,000 square feet and they want a general maintenance clean, or let's say they want a top to bottom deluxe clean. You literally just plug it in and it actually kicks out an exact quote, an exact number, like $412, $399, $600, whatever it is. You literally plug into the calculator and there it is. And the emotion goes out of it. There's no like, oh, I think this, or I wish this. It's just like, here's the number, here's what we can coach you at. And at that point, it becomes all in your court. So we're going to quote this at $400. It's going to take us about 6.5 man hours to do. And so do you prefer to do a deep clean or do you prefer to do a general maintenance clean? That's the A/B option. And I say, oh, $400 versus $250. I think that, I want to get it done right. I'll do a $400 top to bottom deluxe deep clean, right? Boom. That's the whole process. And so it becomes your ammo. It becomes you're able to use to give confidence when you're able to do quotes over the phone. Sudden that confidence is really what sells that cleaning prospect, because it's the it's the ifs, it's the mez, it's the I'm not sures. It creates the disconnect from the prospect, knowing that if you actually can perform on that clean.
Can I give you my sales script and my initial cleaning calculator? So I did a free masterclass. Yes, a free masterclass showing how to build a $1 million cleaning company, whether you're just starting one or whether you have an existing business already. And so not only did I share the cleaning script and the initial cleaning calculator, but also how to do a marketing funnel, how to do a sales system, how to do recruiting, doing leadership, all that absolutely free. So if you want access to that masterclass plus the scripts and the calculator, click the link down below. I look forward to seeing you on the inside.